Hey everybody, and welcome to another video. This video is going to be all about kayak fishing safety equipment that I keep on my kayak, and also I want to open up the comments and just suggestions wherever you're watching this, on Instagram, YouTube, wherever it is that you're watching this. Feel free to drop comments of your own on safety gear that you keep in your kayak. I also have a few Instagram names that I want to shout out. We were live the other day on Yak Tribe's Instagram and people were just throwing out some ideas that they have in their kayak. And I hope that maybe something I show you inspires you to maybe build your own safety kit, or who knows, maybe you have all this stuff on your kayak. Now, I don't always keep everything on this. What you're about to see, I do keep on my kayak pretty much all the time. But I'm gonna show you some stuff at the end that I only keep on my kayak if I'm going offshore. So this setup is pretty much for an inshore setup in Tampa Bay, Florida, or if I'm going to Louisiana, Alabama. Pretty much if I'm inshore, this is what I got on board. So let's get to it. The first thing that I keep on my kayak, and actually on my person, is my Mustang personal flotation device. So this is a PFD right here. This is a self-inflator, so you actually have to pull this. If you don't pull this and the chest doesn't blow up, this will still keep you afloat. But if you want some extra, flotation, you can always pull this, but I always have one on me. I have videos about PFDs and things like that. I don't wear this because I can't swim. I wear this because I go fishing a lot by myself and I'm always standing up sight fishing. And I've fallen a few times and, thank God I was able to catch myself on my kayak. I've fallen off my cooler, I've fallen off my seat, I've hit, waves and fell, and it's just for the one time I hit my head and maybe fall off or something like that and I'm unconscious, I need this thing. Or for any other crazy reason. I've been fishing with people that have fallen over and they're great swimmers, but things happen. And so definitely got the PFD. I also have the NRS knife. I have a whole video on kayak fishing knives on my channel, but I keep this one on me right here. So moving on, and also I want to show you this real quick too. Inside of my vest, I always keep this, is by Night Eyes. And basically you slip this in your phone case and attach it to this hook. And so I never want to lose my phone. So kind of a safety device, maybe? I don't know, you be the judge of that. We're gonna go into my middle hatch right here. And I keep a few things in here for safety. One, I keep my whistle right here. You can tell I've never had to use it because it's always had this tag on here, but I keep my whistle. You have to have these in Florida. I'm not sure about your state. I keep a headlamp because I am at the launches very early, and also this is a great signaling device. If you find yourself in an emergency, this is great to have. I have this pair of clippers. Now, I also have a video on YouTube where my buddy Scott had to use this and clip the hooks out of my pinky finger, and I had a pretty decent sized speckled trout that jumped around when we were in Louisiana and the hook caught my finger. And good thing I had these because there was no getting the trout off. It was two treble hooks lodged into the trout and also into my finger. And for times like that, it's good to just go ahead. It's rusty, as you can tell. Just go ahead, cut off the hook, and do what you got to do from there. If you do find yourself with the hook in your hand, this can also be somewhat of a safety feature. This is just your normal fluorocarbon that you would use as leader, but this is something that you'd wrap around the hook and you'd have a buddy help you. You kind of pin the hook down and use this to yank the hook out. Or you can just use pliers, which I do have right here. So that's pretty much it. In here, a spare set of sunglasses. So that's that. We can close this up. And now we're gonna move in to the big hatch up front. Bunch of safety supplies in here. Now, I know this is a lot of stuff, but truly, I'm trying to tell you guys, I do like to keep it minimal if I can. I only have 2 tackle boxes of gear under my seat. My deck is usually clean with one GoPro here and a GoPro on my hat. The only things that stay in here really are safety equipment. So we're gonna pause. We actually have UPS here. 1 second. How you doing?
Good, how's it going?
Good, I'll take those from you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey, you too. Had to make a quick pit stop. It's that time of year, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and so UPS stopping by. All right, so here we go. Let's get back to this hatch. We're gonna get to this in just a moment. I'm gonna show you what's in here, but I wanna kind of just take a look at some other safety equipment. It's safety equipment, but also maybe just have a better day on the water. So I always keep a bottle of water in this hatch. I have forgotten my cooler, and I think staying hydrated, especially in the Florida sun, is definitely part of safety. So I keep a bottle of water in here. And guys, I'm a prepper, you know, I love camping, and so you never know. What if it goes down and you get stranded? So you just never know. So water, I always keep an oatmeal or two or some sort of, you know, food or snacks in my hatch. So we got that right there. This is not safety, but my real kayak fishermen know about this. The toilet paper and the, what are these called? Baby wipes. So not necessarily safety, but figured I'd show you that anyway. This is a big safety device. So I actually keep this rolling a lot while I'm fishing, inshore, offshore, whatever. I keep this on. And I like keeping it on channel 16 when I'm out there, because you get all kinds of updates. You hear of hazards in the area. You hear of, you know, crazy speeding boats. You hear of just all kinds of things, traffic in the water. And so I got this, but also I can call myself. There's also this distress button in the back that I have set up so that if I press this distress button, it's going to immediately let the Coast Guard know my exact location, because this is a GPS. This is the Standard Horizon HX890, and I have a video, full in-depth video on this on my channel. So safety equipment, I think this is a must-have. If you're out there, if you have a family, if you have kids, this is something you need, because the cell phone, you lose bars, you lose things like that. At least this, and this stays charged for a long time. You can listen to the radio, this even has GPS, so you can do waypoints on here. I never use it for that really, but big safety device. I recommend that you have this, and this distress button back here is a must in my opinion. So spend the extra, you know, 50 bucks to get this model rather than the other Standard Horizons or VHFs you can find out there. Definitely recommend that. Somewhat of a safety device, I don't know, this is more comfortable, I guess you could say, but this is just a cheap, I mean, this was like $4 at the Coleman store, but it just works just like Frog Togs. You know, it's just a waterproof pants and jacket. These are non-breathable, so when you put these on, you're gonna be sweating in there. But to keep the rain off you or whatever you got to do in a pinch, we got Florida showers coming through all the time, and this has helped me out a lot. So that, I also have some rods in here. This is for my drive. If you can't tell, there's a slight, can you see that? There's a slight curve in these, just a little bit, especially in this one right here, but these will work perfectly. I know there's a little curve in here, but when you pop this into a drive, it is pretty much as straight as it can be. I bent my drive a few times, and I always keep two, okay? I always keep two in case I get a really bad bend in my Hobie drive. I consider this a safety feature, because paddling this barge, you know, all the way back, it's gonna be a mission for sure. And so I've had to replace my, what do you call these? Just the shaft in the drive fins, you know. There's a real name for these, but, and you're gonna see, do you see on these how there's kind of a flat surface on there? I'm gonna show you why I keep a tool in this box, but must have for me. And if you have a pedal drive of any sort, make sure you go ahead and spend, you know, 30 bucks or however much these cost to throw something. Even if you have a prop, figure out what are the failure points on that drive, and go ahead and just spend the money and keep it in your kayak. So that's one of the downfalls of those of you who have pedal drives. You do have to have some maintenance on those, and so go ahead and get that equipment. Now we're gonna close up this hatch, and I'm going to open up this box, but first I'm gonna show you, I do bring this Dakota Lithium power box. This is the 10 amp hour. I bring this on my longer trips. So when I'm going out with Rex, when I'm going out with the boys, I'm doing a lot of filming, I'm using my phone a lot to vlog and to film, I bring this out 100%. It's really not that heavy because it's a lithium battery in there. So this is bougie, okay? This is extra. This is like when you want to make sure that you have enough power to do what you're doing. So there are times that I have my fish finder and that goes straight to a battery underneath my hatch. But if that dies and I really need it and I'm offshore, I'll bring this guy because I can use the battery in there. It also has USB there so I can charge my phone, which is a must if I'm out there. Gotta let my wife know what's going on, especially when I'm using my phone for vlogging. I use my phone a lot for B-roll vlogging, and then I use my GoPros on my head and on my kayak to just keep the episode or the video moving with fishing shots. And so yeah, you got this. I mean, it has a little light on there, you know, if you'd ever need it for some reason. But yeah, you can charge everything. You can even hook up a trolling motor there in a pinch if you do have a trolling motor and you just need to get somewhere like pretty, you know, in a pinch. If you got to use it, you got it. All kinds of options on there. But this is for my extended trips. I bring that. Let's go ahead and get into the guide box. I think this is like a Plano guide box. I'm pretty sure that's the actual name of it. It's like a guide box or something like that. But it's waterproof, and I keep important things in here, okay? So the first thing that's on here is a marine medical kit here. So it's got bandages, motion sickness tablets, it's got all kinds of gauze, waterproof tape, ibuprofen, just a standard little kit. I got this somewhere a long time ago, or was gifted to me. I bought it somewhere, but yeah, I keep this in here, but that's not my only medical stuff. I have a whole roll of this waterproof adhesive tape. Of course, I got waterproof. I have cut myself. I've cut my hand open. I have needed to just, Band-Aids weren't working. They were falling off. I just needed to wrap it up with tape. And so I keep a whole roll of this waterproof tape. And guys, I want to say that a lot of this equipment that I keep on here, I like to fish with friends or take guys out and, you know, do the yak tribe thing, and we go out and we roll out into pack. I've used a lot of this stuff mostly on other people. And so I'm just that kind of guy. I like to be prepared, and I am also looking out for my friends who don't have stuff. I've been out with friends who their kayaks have been sinking and we fixed it. Which also, before we get into this, guys, I do want to make a note. Inside of here, I do have a few night eyes, but I have, if I can get it out, I do have this bilge pump. Okay, and it does work. You want to make sure this thing actually works. But I've had to use this a few times for friends who got a bunch of water in their kayak and they didn't know they had a crack, and we had to use that bilge pump. So that's that. All right, let's get back to this box. I do have a Bixby on my kayak that I use fairly regularly. So I have some replacement pieces, propeller, battery, just things that I can do maintenance on the Bixby. I have my adjustable wrench. And that is what I wanted to show you. That piece on the shaft for the fins, it has that flat piece. Now, in a pinch, you can use a pair of pliers, which I do have. You can use pliers and really squeeze it, but sometimes that thing gets jammed in there so tight or gets whatever, you know, corroded or something, that really the only thing that will work is an adjustable wrench. And you'd be surprised what an adjustable wrench and a little flat or Phillips head screwdriver can do on a kayak. I don't really see a lot of flathead screws, but yeah, this can do anything from work on your star ports to just little mounts. So I always keep this, and I always keep this adjustable wrench, because if you do bend your fins, this is what you want to put on that flat piece and just torque it, and it will start to unscrew. So very important to have that, especially if you have a Hobie. I keep an extra pair of sunglasses because, you know, I'm always taking stuff from my kayak, and I have been known to take my sunglasses off of my kayak and use them out in the yard, or I try not to do that. I try and keep them on my kayak, but I do a lot of sight fishing, and sunglasses are, I have to have them. And so I have a little pair of sunglasses that I keep in this gear box right here, and so also protect your eyes, kind of, you know, I guess that's safety. But on the inside, maybe if Scott Kennedy is watching this, I had printed Outfish Scott on them, if you can see that. And yeah, so it's a little, my wife's laughing who's holding the camera. That's a little shout to Scott Kennedy, Kayaking Kennedy on Instagram. This is just another bag of safety equipment. This tells me kind of how to work on my skeg and stuff like that in my kayak, but more gauze, more ibuprofen, more Band-Aids, just some redundancies, some antibacterial, how you say that? Yeah, a little cream in there. And so just another little medical pack right there that we could use. I have Dramamine. I have used this for my friends who we've gone out, and they're like, oh man, I feel like I'm gonna get sick today. Okay, we go ahead and pop one of these. I give them this. I have this sunscreen chapstick. The only reason I have this is because my wife gave it to me and I've never used it, but I keep it in this box, and maybe I'll find a need for it. I don't know. I do not have sunscreen on this kayak. Maybe I should, but I wear a lot of UV protectant clothing and I just don't really burn. It's like a Filipino thing, so don't really have sunscreen on me. I just stay hooded up, you know, buffed up and stuff like that. I've got a night eyes. I've had to use this many times. This is just an adjustable, you know, you can tie down things with this, all kinds of things. I've got a bunch of zip ties, longer ones. So zip ties, Always need those in safety. I've got fire, whether I need to, you know, cinch up some cords, paracord, things like that, which I do not have paracord in here. I think I took it out for a camping trip, so I need to add that back into my kayak. Carabiner, I've had to use this for makeshift anchors to just keep things tied down. So carabiner, this is not safety at all, but you know, get treble hooks off if whatever, you need to change hooks. This is one of my #1 safety features in my kayak. This is the gator patch. I have had to use this in emergency. I've been out in La Jolla, California, more than a mile offshore, just working our way out. And I had a friend who had a hole, pretty much a hole, but it was a huge crack in the kayak, and that kayak was going down. Okay, that kayak was going down. And so this is a patch that you can place over any sort of crack in your kayak. And basically all it needs is the sunlight to cure, and then you can sand it and paint it later. You can do all kinds of things. I actually have this on the bottom of my Hobie in the back, kind of where, like, you know, if you're rubbing it on the ground, so it protects your kayak. So you can use it as like a skid guard, that kind of thing, which I do have, but I use it also in my safety kit in case somebody has a crack, in case I have a crack. All you got to do is flip your kayak over. You can put this on the bottom or whatever the crack is and let the sunlight cure it, and it'll be cured in just a few minutes and he'll be ready to go. It's pretty much like an instant cure, which is unreal. So that is a must. It's called Gator Guard Gator Patch, and that's just a 3x6 patch. So guys, I think that's pretty much, you know, when I go out, I keep a pocket knife on me, I keep a multi-tool on me, that kind of thing. But for the most part, we've also got a safety flag in the back. You can see here, this has a orange safety flag, but it also has a light up top, which you need when you're going out. 360 light right there. Now, I'm gonna pause this video for a second, grab some things that are here on my tool bench, and show you a few more items that you might consider putting on your kayak. So I want to give a shout out to Kayaking Kennedy, Small Time Fishing, Bob Cooley, Kayak Q305 Fishing. They threw in some extra ideas here. And so here are some things that you might want on your kayak that I don't always keep on my kayak, but here's a dry bag. You can put your keys, you can put all kinds of things in there. This is a Night Eyes. I love this bag right here. It's 100% waterproof, and you don't have to have one of those thick, big bags. You can just kind of take this, throw this in your hatch. So actually this one I do keep on my kayak most of the time, but I don't keep the really big ones. If you don't have this one, you can just grab a waterproof bag, throw that in the hatch or on the deck, maybe use a carabiner to keep it on. And so that's that. We had a recommendation by, who was it? Kayak Q305 Fishing. He mentioned like flares. So when I do go offshore, I do bring this. This is an air horn kit right here. Just screws on, makes loud noise. And also flares. Inside here, this is the Orion survival kit. But inside this guy right here is a whistle, is a mirror, and I think I got three flares inside. So yeah, red aerial flare. So when I'm going offshore, this little bag gets thrown into my my hatch. These are the longer gator patches. Like I said, this is more this is kind of safety because it helps, you know, keep your kayak from scratching up and getting cracks and holes in the bottom. But these are the longer versions. These are the 3x18 inch strip, and this is what I keep on the bottom of my kayak. But also we had some suggestions for extra masks. So these are extra buffs. Somebody mentioned a space blanket. I forget who it was. Bob Cooley mentioned a battery pack, a solar light. Small Time Fishing mentioned a solar light, which is great. Kayaking Kennedy mentioned the heavy snips. And then, yeah, Kayak Q305 Fishing mentioned like a solar blanket, which we have, or maybe even some glow sticks. So that's something. Maybe you have a reason to add that to your kayak. So there's that. Someone also mentioned a fire kit. Now, I don't know where you guys are. Maybe you're fishing where it's a lot colder than I'm at. Maybe you're fishing in some like foresty areas and stuff like that. Maybe you could get stranded. But I do keep this in my truck. This is pretty much my fire kit that I keep when I'm camping. This is a, you know, little flint right there. I keep this guy. This is called this is a ember lit wooden stove right here. It folds up and folds down into a stove. Some matches, some candles, some fire starter right there, and a little bic. So if you don't have a firebox, that might be something that you consider making. So I always try and keep a way to make fire in my truck when I'm camping, when I'm kayaking. I need something for fire. And other than that, guys, I'm gonna make a separate video, but this is something that you can put on your kayak. This is the Angler Aid. I'm gonna make a separate video on this and talk about this, which I will link in the description of your video. Now, I will bring this out if I'm going fishing with my kids, if I'm bringing a group of people fishing, if I'm doing one of my kayak fishing guides here in Tampa Bay, Florida through Tampa Bay Kayak Rentals. If I'm taking a bunch of people out or people who don't know what they're doing, this goes in the back of my kayak. It's a waterproof box, and this particular one, this is the Angler Aid, this is the Pro Kit. It has 101 items in here, and I'm just gonna open it up for you and give you a quick look. But it's got a multi-tool, a flashlight. This stuff works miracles right here. You can put it on any sort of like bites or cuts. It's awesome. Super glue, maybe you're on a boat or something and you need these clamps. It's got whistles, it's got electrical tape, measuring devices, all kinds of first aid, ice packs. It's just got all kinds of stuff. Zip ties, paracord, just all kinds of things in here. And so I'm gonna do a separate video on this. It's got a whistle. I think it's got like 2 whistles in there. But this I will bring and just throw in the back of my kayak when I got just people I don't know or groups of people and things like that. So anyways, guys, that's pretty much my take on the safety gear in a kayak that you can have. A lot of it I honestly think you should have. Most of this stuff will condense into a box this big, okay? The baby wipes and the toilet paper, that's not necessary. I was just showing you that. But if you want to put together a really good safety box, safety kit, it could pretty much fit in a guide box this size. And then of course your snips and things like that. But just think about it, guys. We want to be safe out on the water. You could pretty much save somebody else's life or save your own life with a lot of this equipment. And so it's important, guys. We have had many people in the kayak fishing community unfortunately pass away. And we're out there in nature, and sometimes we think we're just fishing and having a good time, but guys, things can get real. Like super real, and you want to make sure that you're prepared. So anyways, guys, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I want to appreciate all you guys who help support this channel and also who are part of Yak Tribe. If you're not part of Yak Tribe, go to Instagram and search Yak Tribe, or go to yak-tribe.com and check it out, become a member. And that's pretty much all we got for this video. If you have any other things we should add to this kit or you want other people to know about, go ahead and click the comments below and let's hear it.